Maintaining a healthy weight is very important for our health. Having excess fat has been shown to increase our likelihood of a number of different diseases. And being too thin dangerously deprives our body of all sorts of things we need. This course is designed to provide you with the background behind what we really need to maintain a healthy weight. Typically in society, it's framed just as being a need for willpower and a dedication to dieting and exercising. Though, the best way to truly make change requires taking away any blame or strict restrictive rules. Instead, we've got to work with the body, not against it, compassionately understanding how the body regulates weight. Let's first understand what science says contributes to a healthy weight. First of all, a small part of some people's weight is non-negotiable. There is a genetic component in some, as well as an influence by our early life experiences like our childhood nutrition. Understanding that can help us extend more compassion when we're struggling. However, it's also important to remember that roughly 80 to 90% of weight gain is influenced by lifestyle and environment, meaning there is hope. For the most part, when the right factors are addressed, it is preventable or reversible. Apart from ingrained biology, our weight regulation is multifactorial. It depends on many systems all over the body working together, including aspects like sleep, stress hormones, emotions, hunger and fullness signals, movement, and eating patterns. Even with strong efforts elsewhere, the body will resist weight loss when we don't fully address the underlying aspects together. You can't just cheat the system with simply a really strict diet or a crazy exercise routine. Moreover, it's important to establish that a healthy weight is not just a number on a scale. It reflects how balanced your body is overall. When sleep improves, stress reduces, eating becomes regular, and movement increases, weight often changes naturally. It is important to remember that our goal should be to focus on restoring balance, not forcing control. Whilst most people aren't aware, sleep has a powerful effect on weight. We need both a good duration of sleep, as well as our sleep to be consistent. When sleep is short or poor, our hormones are affected and the body becomes more insulin resistant, which directly promotes weight gain. Sleep problems also increase hunger and cravings, and decrease impulse control, which can result in overeating. When thinking about sleep, what you do in the evening strongly affects sleep quality. Particularly, you should aim to avoid food for 3 hours before bed, reduce screen use in the evening, keep lights low, and make sure you keep routines consistent. Your body needs to internally know and hear the signals that it's time to sleep. Stress can also influence our sleep. Anxiety may keep us up at night or cause us to have nightmares, reducing our sleep quality. As such, paying attention to both our levels of stress and our stress management can help. Stress itself is an important factor linked to a healthy weight. Chronic levels of stress can also interfere with our hormone profile, especially surrounding the hormone cortisol. When we're stressed, we release cortisol to help us deal with short-term threats, but when it stays high for long periods, it increases appetite, encourages fat storage, especially around the abdomen, and makes weight loss harder. In fact, the connection between your mind and body is important in weight. Particularly, interoception, or the body's ability to sense what's happening inside, like your hunger, thirst, or tiredness. When interoception is working well, you can tell when you're truly hungry or full, when you need to sleep or exercise, or emotionally, like when that craving for junk food is actually just you being upset. You have to be in touch with yourself and your body. Physiologically, interoception underlies obesity too. When our body's internal communication is fine-tuned and in good contact with each other, your weight is more likely to be healthy. Particularly, 3 hormones called insulin, leptin, and ghrelin are key. Leptin tells your brain you're full. Ghrelin tells your brain you're hungry. And insulin is about blood sugar control. When your body loses its sensitivities to these hormones, everything gets messy. You're never full, feel hungry all the time, or can't smoothly signal changes in your storage of fat and sugar. So, what affects our ability to tune into our body and regulate our internal communication? Stress is a major factor, disrupting our attention to ourselves and our bodies, and putting unnecessarily physiological loads into our bodies. Mental health problems can enhance that stress, so you should pay special attention specifically to it if you're struggling. Likewise, trauma. Deep-rooted trauma can sometimes affect our relationship with our bodies. We might be more out of tune with our feelings or quelch sensations when they arise. Having good emotional regulation is essential. We need to be able to feel, process, and mindfully make decisions based on our emotions. It is emotional regulation that lies behind our ability to mindfully decide if we really want that sugary snack or we're just feeling lonely. Whatever the problem, healing the mind-body connection takes time, with practicing gentle attention to yourself over a prolonged period of time. Weight stigma itself can of course also compound hurt. Feeling judged pulls our self-esteem further down, increases our stress, and can lead to more need for comfort. Being kind to yourself through the journey helps break this cycle. Movement is critical to a healthy weight. Exercise is important, but it's only part of the picture. What matters just as much is regular movement throughout the day. With modern office culture, for example, many of us spend hours sitting around without thinking about it. Though sitting for long periods slows metabolism, reduces fat burning, disrupts blood sugar regulation, and affects hormones linked to appetite. Some things to start might be standing up every 30 to 60 minutes, walking short distances like when you're on the phone, taking stairs instead of the elevator, or stretching and moving your body in small ways. It could also be doing hobbies, like gardening or cooking. Keeping busy in any way keeps our muscles busy. Every time we move or exercise, we are retuning our body. As we send more signals around our body, it gets better at sensing and receiving those signals, and our interoception improves. And as for exercise, one especially helpful type is strength training. Building muscle is actually helpful in maintaining a healthy body fat content. This is another reason why you should never measure your success by the actual weight you are. Muscle will always weigh more than fat, so a healthier weight for you might actually mean putting on more kilograms. Whilst your diet is only an aspect of the whole picture, diet does matter. The first thing to think about is the quality of your diet. Ultra-processed foods are more and more common these days. Whether ready meals, frozens, or fast foods, generally if it's factory-made, unnatural, and been through lots of processing, it will stress out the body when digesting, and promote weight gain. However, a restrictive diet that attempts to cut things out often also isn't helpful. It is better to eat an expansive diet, filling up on good foods, and then you'll simply be less hungry for the bad foods. It is especially ideal to try to fill up on plants or nutrient-rich foods. After this video, you'll find a link to our plant-based diet planner, which helps you plan out weekly meals with an expansive focus around the plants that you're craving. Another important thing to note is the gut microbiome. Having a diverse microbiome seems to be helpful for having a healthy weight, which can be helped by eating a diverse range of healthy foods, as well as by eating probiotics. In fact, in one large study of foods most associated with weight loss, yogurt was found to have the greatest effect. Though, how and when you eat often matters more than what you eat. We have 24-hour hormone cycles, and the time of day we eat is very important in their regulation. It's particularly important to eat breakfast, especially within the first hour after waking up. Equally, eating late at night dysregulates us, especially if you eat within 2 to 3 hours before bed. When our hormone cycles aren't regulated, our body stores more fat and will crave more unhealthy food. Eating meals at regular times is just as important too, helping our body have predictable patterns, as well as keeping hunger and fullness signals more stable. Then whilst you're eating, mindful eating can help, reducing our impulsiveness and helping us appreciate food more. Mindful eating means paying full attention to your food, noticing the colors, smells, textures, and flavors. Eating slowly and without distractions like TV or phones helps your body register fullness and satisfaction better, and has been shown to help control weight. When we're talking about diet intake, one thing we must also touch on is alcohol. Alcohol is a big culprit when it comes to weight gain. Whether socially drinking or binge drinking, any amount can make you more likely to retain fat. So if you're a regular drinker, have a think about how to go about changing your habits. A lot about our weight falls down to habits. But changing habits isn't just about what habits we do, it's about how you treat yourself. Emotional habits, like stress eating or avoiding movement, often develop as coping strategies. You must seek to compassionately understand why you tend to do something, rather than demeaning yourself for it. Only then can you replace the need underlying your original habit and successfully change. Likewise, when you're trying to build up your new habits, habits are easier to keep when you act from kindness. When you struggle to stick to them, instead of thinking, I failed, I'm lazy, try thinking, I'm learning, and every small step counts. You don't need a perfect routine, just small, consistent steps that add up over time. Momentum is key too. Big change often comes from small habits that lead to others over time. We call those small starting habits a keystone habit. It might, for example, be drinking water regularly, which can then lead to better eating overall. Starting with one small simple habit helps you to build the momentum, confidence, and self-esteem needed to build more later. Ideally, you want to choose a keystone habit that is something so simple that there is no chance of failure. Focus on slow, steady progress. It's okay if it feels boring. Sometimes it is our surroundings that influence our likelihood to maintain a healthy weight. It could be simply things around you, like smells, visible snacks, or people, which trigger you. Simple changes, such as moving snacks out of reach or blocking distracting smells, can help. Equally, our social environment can play a role. In fact, loneliness has been shown to influence weight. Feeling lonely or isolated can, for example, increase both stress and emotional eating. But what also matters is the social relations around you. Are you surrounding yourself with people who badly influence your behavior, or those who stress you out? Those we surround ourselves with affect us more than we think. Sometimes shifting into better relationships is all you need to keep up motivation and momentum. The final thing we're going to touch on is medication. Sometimes medications, especially steroids or antidepressants, can be contributing to weight gain. If you think that is the case, make sure to have a conversation about it with a medical doctor. On the other end of the spectrum, there is also increasing use of weight loss medications. Whilst these can help short-term, remember that they don't fix the root causes. A healthy weight comes from balancing your mind, body, and environment over time. If we don't tackle the root causes, we will just make the problem bigger in the long term. And in fact, studies are beginning to demonstrate that about 1.5 years after weight loss medications, people put all the weight back, and more. There is no one quick magic answer when it comes to a healthy weight.